Hey everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech. And if you're looking at some of the videos on my channel, you'll know that I recently got a Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I've been doing a few different reviews with that over the last few weeks. And I just did a video that took a look at and unboxed the Samsung protective cover. So this is the rugged protective cover for the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and it has the kickstands and all of that, right? So I'll link in the card above, and you can take a look at that unboxing. But what I wanted to do today in this video is just a quick video. Hopefully this won't be more than 5 minutes. Is to do a side-by-side or a comparison of this case. So this is the Samsung case with the Spigen Tough Armor case, right? So I did a unboxing and quick review of this as well, and just wanted to do a little bit of a comparison of these two cases, because if you're looking for a case with a kickstand for the Galaxy Note 10 Plus or the Galaxy Note 10, these are probably two of the things that you'll end up looking at, right? I'm sure there's some other cases out there, etc., but these are probably the popular ones, right? So the OEM Samsung version, and then Spigen, they make great cases, and the Spigen Tough Armor series is the series that they have with the built-in kickstand. So the first thing you'll notice really is that, and it's kind of hard to tell here, but the cases are basically identical in size. I think the Spigen Tough Armor is just a little bit taller. So if you look at it here, I don't know if you can see. It's just a tiny bit taller. From the perspective of the height of the cases, they're basically exactly the same. Obviously the width is going to be about the same, because the phone is the same size. But really the Spigen is a little bit wider as well. Kind of hard to tell. But the Spigen has a little bit beefier, I guess, on the top and bottom sides than the Samsung case. So it's a little bit thicker, I guess. So either that's good or bad, right? So it adds a little bit of thickness on the top and the sides, but it also might add a little protection as well, right? So I think that that's not necessarily a con in this case. It might be a plus for the Spigen, is that it seems like it has a little bit more meat on the top and side of the case. And then there's also a little bit, I don't know if this really helps or adds to the protection, but there's these little foam inserts with the Spigen Tough Armor case that look like that they would add a little bit of drop protection depending on how the case falls. So that's actually kind of nice. The Samsung case, it's just rubber inside, right? So it's the same material on the sides that's in the center. So from that perspective, this is kind of what they look like compared side by side. The other difference to note is that the cutouts for the camera and the sensors and the LED on the Samsung case is segmented or divided by that little piece of plastic. On the Spigen case, it's all one piece. From a lip perspective, I think that height-wise, the Samsung case and the Spigen case do look to be about the same. So the amount of lift off of a flat surface that they give you, I think looks to be about the same. But the Spigen case is a little bit wider at the top portion as well. The one thing that's nice about the Samsung I don't like as much about the Spigen is the sides have like the scalloped edge, and it's that rubber material. So it gives a little bit of grip, right? So it's not as slippery when you take it out of your pocket or put it in your pocket. The Spigen Tough Armor has this wraparound piece of the back plastic. If you can see, it kind of wraps around the side. So you don't have a rubber really grip here. It's kind of more of that smooth plastic, and that's on both sides of this, really where you grip the phone. So this makes the Spigen Tough Armor is a little bit more slippery, I think. Button placement, hole cutouts, and all of that. I mean, they're both, about the same. Really good. I didn't have any issues with the Tough Armor in use, right? And I'm sure I won't have any problems with the Samsung either. So hopefully you can see there kind of the bottoms of the phone, what it looks like. The one thing I will say on this side of it, if you're looking, the Spigen Tough Armor does have a little bit more of a defined power button. You can see it's got kind of like a texture to it, so it makes it a little bit easier to hold on to feel, first of all, and to push in. The Samsung is more, it's a smaller little power button. Same thing with the volume rocker. Volume rockers on the Spigen are a little bit more pronounced and defined versus the Samsung case. But the biggest difference really, I think, in these cases when you're taking a look at them, because I think they're both going to be very protective of the phone, at least just feeling what they feel like. I mean, the real difference is in the placement of the actual kickstand. So the Spigen case has a single kickstand. It's located kind of at the bottom here, and it just kind of pops out. You have to push it in or pull it out of the the little slot, and it really gives you just basically one position. The one thing also about this is it's a little flimsy, so if you put a little pressure on it, it will bend a little bit. But I've been using this and it really I don't have any problems with it in usage. It works fine, right? The angle that this presents the phone is a decent viewing angle, right? So if you have it on a table, you're at a desk and you're just kind of watching videos or YouTube or Netflix, I think it works pretty well there. Now, the Samsung, on the other hand, has the ability to have two kickstands, right? So in the angle of the larger kickstand, the longer kickstand on the Galaxy Note 10, on the Samsung case, it's a little bit greater of an angle towards the desk, but both of those viewing angles is about the same. Now, just aside from the fact that there's two different stand settings, or two different kickstand heights, I guess you would call it, on the Samsung case, because these kickstands are on the center line of the phone versus the bottom on the Spigen, allows you to kind of have it go both ways, right? Now, why would that make a difference? Well, if you want to have access to the power button and or the volume up down, then you probably want to use the Samsung case because you can position it in a way that you can use the buttons, right? On the Spigen case, the kickstand is on the same side as the buttons. There's no way to position it in the tall setting where you can access the buttons, right? They're because they're at the bottom. Now you could flip this around, and then it will work in a more reclined way, and then you can have access to the buttons. But it's basically, it's not exactly the same scenario here. So I mean, you can use it kind of both ways, but there's only a single kickstand. So basically all I'm trying to say is because this is on the center line, you can use the buttons with either setting, the higher setting or the low setting. Because this is not on the center line and this is on one side of the phone, I mean, theoretically you can use it either way. You can have it up a little bit higher, or you can flip it around and it will be a little bit lower, but you'll only be able to access the power and the volume up down when it's in the low setting, because that's just the way it will work out, right? So again, very, very similar cases, very similar feel and all of that. The one thing that is a little bit different is the back of the Samsung case is a harder plastic, and it doesn't really get fingerprints as much. This has kind of its matte finish, and it will pick up fingerprints and oils and all that from your fingers. Again, that's always one thing I've not liked about the Spigen cases, is just that they are fingerprint magnets. But yeah. Yeah, so long story short, both of these cases I think would be great for the phone. It really just depends on how much you want to pay, I guess, right? This thing is going to come in at around $40, at least MSRP, where I've seen it. And this comes in, you know, in the middle teens, right? So $15, $16, I believe. You know, a significant amount less for basically what I can tell it to be the same protection, if not maybe even a little better because of this foam that's in here. And basically the same features, right? So this has inline double kickstand. This has one kickstand, but you can use it in two ways by just flipping the phone around. So it is what it is, right? Now, I already did a fitment test in the other video for both of these, so you can take a look at that if you want to know how it fits. You know, too long don't read, don't watch. It fits fine in both, obviously. Not a problem. So, yeah. So that's about it. So if you guys have any questions about this, or you you know, want to see anything else, or curious about one of these and want to ask a question, go ahead and post the comment below, and I'll definitely respond. Also consider subscribing, liking the video, liking the channel, etc. This is Andrew from T is for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.